Lamar better than Vic? Yes. I'm taking Lamar Jackson over Michael
Larry
Vick.
Bird never had a bad season.
Lamar Chase is going to have 15 touchdowns.
He may still be the best player in the world. Let's get it popping. Sports fans, we are live. Welcome to the Sports Behavior Podcast. I'm your host, OG the Beast, here with you on this beautiful Tuesday night. I'm glad for whoever decided to tap in and join. If you are on YouTube, make sure you please hit that sub button. It only takes a second of your time, and it's free to do. It really helps us grow here on the Sports Behavior Podcast. We're trying to do some things here, man. We really trying to do some things. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How are y'all doing today? What's the word? Ty, what's going on, my man? How y'all feeling? We had an interesting week 2 of the NFL. Very, very interesting week 2, right? And there's a lot of things I want to get to today. I ain't going to be here too long. I don't want to tie up too much of your time, but I do want to have a discussion with y'all. Can we rap? Y'all know how I like to do things, man. Just make sure y'all hit all these socials up, man, and drop these follows and support your boy. I would do the same for you, man. Just drop a like, drop a follow on the content if you love sports the way that I do. If you don't like sports like I do, man, keep it moving. If you ain't no sports head, keep it moving. But I love this shit. I live for this shit. It definitely was wild. Unleashed, it definitely was wild, man. But listen, one thing I want to get to, though. Let's kick this show off. Let's jump it off. Some franchises out here are just ran poorly. Point blank, period. There's no way around it, right? Franchises like the Browns, the Titans, the Bears, the Bengals, Gabricio franchises like this are just ran poorly. I don't know if it's due to nepotism. You got your brother, sister, auntie, niece, nephew, uncle running shit, trying to run operations for the team, making decisions that can seriously impact the team. I don't know if it's because of nepotism, incompetence, or just flat out cursed. Because I do believe in franchises being cursed. Like, I see a lot of times where a lot of franchises line everything up, and it seems like everybody got everything they need just to be garbage. Look at the Cincinnati Bengals. Joe Burrow injured himself in the second quarter. Now he's out for 3 months. What's the cause of this? Everybody wants to know what's the cause of this. It's now the Jake Browning show. Jake Browning made some mistakes in his game when he came in, but he also showed flashes. I like what I saw from him the last time Joe Burrow got hurt. So I think they do have a consistent backup over there in Cincinnati. But bottom line is this offensive line is horrendous. And to be honest with you, I can't even think of the last time the Cincinnati Bengals had a good offensive line. Even if you go back to the Chad Johnson, what was the running back they had? Corey Dillon days. I can't recall the last time the Cincinnati Bengals had an elite level offensive line. I can't recall it. That's my phone going off. I'm going to fix that right now. But I can't recall the last time the Cincinnati Bengals had an elite level offensive line. So me and my man's KB was having a conversation. Shout out to my boy KB, right? Me and him was talking. He said, yo, OG. A topic came up on Twitter or whatever he was looking on. I believe it was Twitter, where people were trying to say, did the Cincinnati Bengals make a mistake drafting Jamar Chase with the 6th pick instead of Penei Sewell, knowing they were in desperate need of offensive line help, especially coming off Joe Burrow getting sacked a tremendous amount of times, leading to him getting injured the previous season? Here's what I say to that. Anybody who believes drafting Jamar Chase was a mistake for the Cincinnati Bengals, you're slow. That's not the reason they are garbage up front. It starts at the top. They drafted Joe Burrow back in 2020. And in that draft, they didn't address the offensive line until like the 6th or 7th round. The year after that, they take Jamar Chase. They go to the Super Bowl. He was literally a life saver, a game changer for the Cincinnati Bengals organization. Straight to the Super Bowl. And it made, to me, it was common sense for them to take Jamar Chase, right? Especially if you got to pick that early in the draft. You want a slam dunk. You don't want an iffy. Not to say that Penei Sewell was an iffy. He was labeled as a generational talent coming into this draft. But let's keep it a buck. Let's lay it out all on the line. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, they both played at LSU. Not only did they play together in college, but they put up massive numbers together. So we already knew what it was. That eliminates the what-if factor, right? When you taking a guy that early, that eliminates the what-if factor, the skepticism factor. We already know who we dealing with in Jamar Chase. And where did that get you? He's arguably the best wide receiver in football. But the problem is they drafted Burrow in 20. They drafted Chase in 21. What have they done since then to bolster this offensive line or provide some help up front for Joe Burrow in this running game? Nothing. Have you tried? You've thrown efforts out there, but it's null and void because this offensive line 3 years later is still garbage. It's still garbage. You make that pick 10 out of 10 times. No doubt about it. You have to do that. The bottom line is the Cincinnati Bengals have a lot of work to do organizationally because the decision-making that they've made over the course of the last 2 to 3 years, ass. And we're not finna sit here and act like you needed a guy like Penei Sewell to anchor the offensive line in order for your offensive line to be productive. Look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Look at us for a prime example, right? Landon Dickerson, he's a second-round pick. Cam Jurgens, he's a second-round pick. We're not drafting these guys in the first round. I think Jason Kelsey was like a third or fourth-round pick. Jordan Mailata, seventh-round pick. Cam Jurgens, second-round pick. Only first-round pick we got on our offensive line is Lane Johnson. That is it. And maybe that can come down the line, or maybe you could trade up to get a guy in the draft. But it just seems like the Cincinnati Bengals say, look, we got Joe Burrow, we got Jamar Chase, we got T. Higgins and Chase Brown. We just going to figure it out. No. If you want to rebuild your squad and do it the right way, it starts in the trenches. And if I know that, why the hell y'all don't know that? I'm just a spectator. We're going to talk more about other organizations later on, but I just want to say, Cincinnati Bengals, man, what are y'all doing organizationally? It's bad. How many times does your quarterback have to get hurt before you realize, hey, I should probably do something about this offensive line and provide more protection for my $300 million quarterback? Because this is crazy. It's ridiculous. Since he is wasting talent, like at an extreme level, that's an understatement, bro. It's an understatement. But speaking of understatements, Baker Mayfield being mentioned in the MVP conversation should be listed as an understatement. This dude is incredible. I love the chip on the shoulder that Baker Mayfield plays with. He plays with so much moxie, so much confidence. It's almost a sense of arrogance that's required to be as deadly as he is and as clutch as he is. Keep it a buck. Baker Mayfield may be the clutchest quarterback in the National Football League, no doubt. Time in and time out, he shows up and shows out when it's time to do so. Everybody is good until the lights get bright, it seems like. This guy on the season, I don't think he's turned the football over yet. He's been amazing. 2 fourth-quarter comebacks already. Week 2, he's 2 for 2 on fourth-quarter comebacks. Could he play well earlier on? Yes, but I don't even give a damn about that because he makes up for it at the end of the game. This is the second week in a row he's made a fourth-quarter comeback on the last drive to give his team the win. Since joining the Bucs, he leads the league in fourth-quarter touchdowns, right? Since 2004, he has 4 comebacks. Only Patrick Mahomes has more fourth-quarter comebacks than Baker Mayfield. And like I mentioned earlier, he hasn't thrown an interception on the season. He's playing at an elite level, and if they keep this up, I don't understand why Baker Mayfield shouldn't be considered in the MVP conversation because he's having an incredible season. He's already an efficient guy, right? He's usually a 68 to 70% completion guy. He was known for his accuracy coming out of college. And, yeah, he's been bouncing around the league. And I think now he's found a home with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And they got their guy. They do. And Emeka Egbuka, man. I'm a rant and rave about this kid every week. Emeka Egbuka is special. I love this guy. I really do. Emeka Egbuka is a rookie, and he looks like a veteran. He doesn't look lost out there, right? He's always in the right place at the right time. His timing is big. It's huge. Like, he plays like a veteran, like he's been in the league for 5 or 6 years, and this guy has only played 2 games in the National Football League. That swagger go crazy. Indiana Jones and Baker in the MVP combos. It's crazy. Daniel Jones did his thing. Daniel Jones had an incredible start to the season as well. All it takes is a great offensive mind. That's why I told you guys last week, sometimes it's better to be good than it is to be special, man. And I truly believe that. When you special, you tend to want to lean on that special a little bit too much, and it causes you to improvise and draw plays up in the dirt like Brett Favre. Special guys. Dan Marino, Brett Favre. But if you look at the guys that really weren't that special, you know what I'm saying? Like arm talent-wise, don't got the strongest arms, don't have the fastest releases, but they got it between the ears, right? And they made do with what they had, like Joe Montana. He wasn't special. Tom Brady, he wasn't special. This guy was a 6th-round pick. Peyton Manning, he's not special. He doesn't have the strongest arm in the world. But look what these guys turned out to be. You know who's special? Mike Vick was special. Lamar Jackson is special. Josh Allen is on the cusp of being special. Dan Marino, extreme arm talent. You can't tell these guys nothing. Patrick Mahomes. Like, sometimes it's better to be good than it is to be special. I truly and honestly believe that. Speaking of Patrick Mahomes, Kansas City, man. What's going on? Kansas City, what's going on? 0-2? You know it's true when you 0-2. Kansas City. What are we doing? The first time in the Patrick Mahomes era, these guys start out 0-2. I can't remember the last time Kansas City was 0-2 myself, even under Alex Smith. I can't, since Andy Reid's been there, I can't remember. Mahomes said, this is something that stuck out to me, right? Mahomes, out of his own mouth, said he feels like the team needs him to use his legs more than he usually does or has in the past. To me, that was a red flag. And I took that as a shot to some portions of the offense, right? I took that as our running game ain't shit. These pass catchers y'all put around me is not all of that elite. Travis Kelce is over the hill. What are we doing here? Anytime Patrick Mahomes feels like he's got to extend plays by using his legs, but not to throw it downfield to actually gain rushing yards, to move the chains and do different shit, he feels like he doesn't have the requisite pieces around him to win. You guys are going to end up doing what the Patriots did to Tom Brady all of those years, saying, oh, we got the best quarterback in the league. We don't need to put him around that much talent. He's okay. We'll give him Wes Welker, who's solid. We'll give him Julian Edelman. He's okay. We'll give him an injured Gronkowski, right? We'll give him James White and these pass-catching running backs, and we'll see what he does with it. And he's winning, and he's winning, and he's winning. In spite of not having legitimate weapons, you guys got spoiled as an organization. It forced you guys to be lackluster when it came to doing your job. Yeah, you had Bill Belichick coaching up the defensive side of the ball, and that was always one of, if not your best assets since the emergence of Tom Brady when he was in the league. And I guess Kansas City seems to want to bite that model because the Kansas City defense is stout, didn't look as stout the last 2 weeks, but I believe they are a stout unit, right? But damn, can we get Patrick Mahomes some help in the building, please? How long can this team run on fumes until they decide to get his kid some help? Like I said, Do not do what the New England Patriots did to Tom Brady. Don't do that to Patrick Mahomes. You guys need to be retooling and getting ready for the future because he's special and you don't want to waste his special. Last year, they lost 2-3 games, went to the Super Bowl, albeit they lost. But if you look at that team, the makeup of that team didn't look like they belonged. They were sheerly there because of that defense and Patrick Mahomes. So I feel like, I don't want to say wasting his talent, but I feel like organizations, when they have special at a very important position like quarterback, they start to let up off the gas. And I don't like that. I don't like that, man. Go all out. Get this man what he needs to be great. Point blank. Get on the phone with the Dolphins. Real talk. They need to make that call quickly. Get on the phone with the Dolphins and get this man some wide receiver help. Straight like that. Speaking of wide receivers, A.J. Brown is doing all of these interviews and these press conferences, and he looks a little frustrated, right? I don't know what's to make up of that because A.J. Brown is a guy that wants to get his numbers, but we're winning games. So what is it really about, right? The Eagles always find a way to win, even if it's ugly. And I'll be the first to admit, as an Eagles fan, this win against the Kansas City Chiefs, it was definitely scrappy. It was definitely ugly. I'm not going to hold you. It was nasty, man. I didn't enjoy watching this game, but we got the job done. So really, as fans, what is it about? Everybody is confused on what they like and what they don't like. On one hand, right, we have quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts who just here to get the job done, regardless of how we get it done. We got 3 phases of the game for a reason: offense, defense, and special teams. All of them have to contribute to a win, and that's the way the Philadelphia Eagles like to win games, by contributing on all 3 phases: offense, defense, and special teams. So it's a double-edged sword, right? Us as fans, we say, man, we want winners. We want to win. We want to win. Then when we win, what happens? Oh, the quarterback ain't that good. Y'all won because of the defense. Oh, that play caller y'all got is special. Oh, if it wasn't for him, it's everybody but the quarterback. But guess what? When guys lose, you blame the quarterback. Or you got the guys that love statistical geniuses like Joe Burrow. Led the league in every passing stat last year, missed the playoffs. Oh, but it's not Joe Burrow's fault. He had 5,000 yards and 50,000 touchdowns. Damn that if it ain't. What is Joe Burrow doing to impact his team enough to get them over the hump to at least at bare minimum make the playoffs? In my opinion, you have enough. I don't give a damn how bad the defense was. The defense wasn't as bad as people tried to make it seem. Last season, Joe Burrow should have made the playoffs. But guess what? We fall in love with these stat gods. These guys that love to put up what we call empty calories because they equate to absolutely nothing, right? We give kudos and credit to those guys, but then we bash them on the back end when they don't do enough. Look at Peyton Manning in 2013. Broke every single passing record known to man, and what happened? Made it all the way to the Super Bowl just to lose to the Seattle Seahawks. So now what? Peyton choked? Look at Tom Brady in 2007. Broke every passing record known to man. Him and Randy Moss was must-see TV. Got all the way to the Super Bowl, undefeated record, was spanking everybody in the regular season and playoffs until you saw the Giants in the Super Bowl, and you folded like a bad-handed poker. So now what? Would you rather have a quarterback that knows how to perform when the lights is bright and in clutch moments like Jalen Hurts, knows how not to turn the ball over in inopportune times to turn the ball over, knows how to take care of the football, be efficient, knows how to dissect the defense and have IQ that a quarterback should have like Jalen Hurts? Or would you rather have a guy put up 1 billion yards and 1 billion touchdowns but miss the playoffs like Joe Burrow? I'm confused on what we want as fans. I thought this game was about winning, but maybe I'm wrong. Some of y'all let me know how y'all feel down in the comments, right? Look, Al Davis said it best. Just win, baby. It's just what it is. It's just what it is. And regardless of how you guys feel about the Eagles, regardless of how you guys feel about Jalen Hurts, he is a winner. The stats might not look pretty. The game might look ugly, but he's going to find a way to get the W. And at the end of the day, ain't that what it's about? Isn't that what it's about? Speaking of elite level play callers and, offensive gurus, so to speak, defensive gurus, head coaches that are offensive minded guys, offensive coordinators, whatever the case may be. Nothing irritates me more than a play caller that likes to get cute around the goal line. Listen, I'm just a spectator. I'm just a guy that loves football just like the next casual fan. But why do guys get cute around the goal line? If it was me, and I play a lot of Madden, I play a whole lot of Madden. I like Madden. When I get around that goal line, I'm not doing nothing special. It's simple. Run the football. Run the football. Bruh. Kevin O'Connell had the ball on a 2-yard line during this Vikings game. You have a power back in Jordan Mason. You have an elusive back in Aaron Jones. You got two options for whatever you want to do. You want to run outside zone, give it to Aaron Jones. You want to run right up the A-gap, give it to Jordan Mason. You have options. You're at the 2-yard line. Guess what Kevin O'Connell does? This is the sequence of events that occurred during this Minnesota Vikings game. It's part of the reasons why they got Bricio to begin with, right? And without that heroic fourth quarter by J.J. McCarthy, they're probably 0-2. This is the sequence of events, right? The ball was on the 2-yard line. They called a fake pitch to Jordan Mason. J.J. McCarthy fumbles. They retain possession. But then on the next play, they get a delay of game, 5-yard penalty. They make it 2nd and 7 with that delay of game, right? Now the ball's on the 7-yard line. 2nd and goal. They get sacked twice, and they're forced to kick a field goal. This is the shit that I'm talking about. So instead of being on a 2-yard line in great position to get 6, a couple bad play calls come into the headset of J.J. McCarthy, and you end up kicking a field goal in that position. Why are we getting cute around the goal line? If it was up to me, leave it to Beaver, me being a Beaver, I'm running the ball 4 straight times. And y'all going to play some defense today. Y'all are going to stop me from getting this 2 yards. I have Jordan Mason in the backfield. I'm running the ball 3 or 4 straight times depending on the score. It might be 4 if I feel like, hey, 4th time's the charm. But if I run this ball 3 consecutive times and y'all stop me 3 consecutive times and force me to kick a field goal, y'all got it. But I'll be damned if I'm running all these trick plays on the goal line that never work. This is not the Philly special. Y'all running all of these trick plays trying to just run the damn football. Just run the ball. Didn't we learn that in Seattle? Just run the football. You're on the 2-yard line. Why are we getting cute around the goal line? Stop overthinking this. This is football. It's simple mathematics. Hand the ball off to your power back and put the game in his hands. And if it doesn't work, you did all that you could, in my opinion. That's just me. Maybe I'm tweaking, but that's how I feel about it. Just run the damn football. Speaking of running the football, they like to run the football a whole lot over there in Pittsburgh, right? But that ain't the story that needs to be talked about. Aaron Rodgers went from being the man to being Gabricio again, right? 4 touchdown performance last week, comes in here and stinks up the joint against the Seattle Seahawks, right? It's almost like the opposite of Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson balled out against the Cowboys this week and was Gabricio week 1. I'm like, damn, what's going on? And then I thought about it. These guys that I'm talking about are a little bit up in age, and let's face it, Tom Brady ruined this for everybody. So now every quarterback that's entering their late 30s, early 40s think they're going to look like Tom Brady, and that's just not the case. But what makes more sense for these guys to be is a little bit inconsistent. So I think at this point, it's safe to say the older quarterbacks of today's game might be a bit inconsistent for the remainder of the season, At times, they'll show flashes of excellence, and show us all why they're first ballot Hall of Famers. Then they're also going to show us games to prove why Father Time is undefeated. We saw one with Aaron Rodgers this past week. Gabricio. And then he gets on a podium and says it's just week 2. But you wasn't speaking that it's just week 2 shit last week when you was at the buffet line ordering everything you could handle. Now it's just week 2. We shouldn't overreact. And I get it. You, Mr. Relax. Let me fall back, Mr. Relax. Y'all got it. But like I say, these older quarterbacks are probably going to look more inconsistent than consistent moving forward in the season. Tom Brady spoiled it for us. Everybody's not going to be 40-plus years old being as dominant and looking as dominant as he did. That's why he's the greatest to ever do it, point blank, period. They running these fancy plays instead of pounding a rock, make them stop you. That's exactly how I feel. Rodgers is like 80 with a glass collarbone. Facts, bro. Facts. I think we need to talk about the Chargers being threats. Yeah, man. Yeah, the Chargers look really good in that last game. Joe Burrow, they need to get that running game going, though. That's the thing about the Chargers. They need to get that running game going. But Justin Herbert, man, he is looking good. Quentin Johnston, he's found something in him. He couldn't catch a cold all training camp. And now he's out here catching everything. I thought Lad McConkey was the guy. He's got a rapport with Keenan Allen, Lad McConkey, Quentin Johnston is stepping up. This LA Chargers offense team as a whole in general looks stout. They just need to get their identity because right now, I mean, I'm not saying I don't like the fact that Justin Herbert is throwing the ball the way that he's throwing the ball. I do, but their identity is running the football. That's why they bolstered the offensive line. That's why they went out and spent the early pick on Amari and Hampton. They want to run the football. They just haven't been successful over the first few weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But the Chargers do look really, really good, though. I like what I'm seeing from the LA Chargers. Speaking of running games, though, how about Kenneth Walker this weekend, right? How about Kenneth Walker? This is a prime example of what Brett Favre talked about when people got on his ass about not mentoring Aaron Rodgers the way others felt like he should have. Aaron Rodgers sat behind Brett Favre for like 3-4 years for those that don't know or don't remember or don't care, right? So everybody said, okay, he gets to sit back and watch the veteran play. And then it's like, well, Brett Favre, you're really not teaching him nothing. You know, you're really not being vocal with the kid. And Brett Favre just came out and said, look, it's not my job to teach him how to play football. That's the coach's job. Now, if he wants to watch and learn from me from a distance, I'm cool with that. But stay the hell out of my way and watch me do what I do. That's why Brett Favre has the most consecutive starts in NFL history. He doesn't miss games, right? So he believed in playing as much as you can, whether it be OTAs, whether it be training camp, whether it be the regular season, practice, it doesn't matter. Get in the game, play, because the more you sit, the more they get to see who's behind you. Pause. Right? And that's what happened with Kenneth Walker this offseason. Kenneth Walker was nursing. It's rumored that he was nursing a foot injury for majority of training camp. So he would relinquish some of his snaps to Zach Charbonnet. Now, we've seen Zach Charbonnet perform in the absence of Kenneth Walker in the past when he got hurt. And he's always been serviceable, solid. But this year seems to be Zach Charbonnet is emerging as a potential lead back. And because of the foot injury of Kenneth Walker during training camp, he's relinquishing snaps to his backup, and he's allowing the front office, the staff, and everybody to see, hey, we might got some with this guy. We might got some with Zach Charbonnet. So now, because you showed your coaching staff what they got in this guy, they're coming into this regular season saying, yo, why not split these carries with these guys? Which is exactly what they've been doing. And they haven't been in favor of Kenneth Walker. The first 2 weeks of the season, Kenneth Walker's been splitting with Zach Charbonnet, and they've both taken turns looking pretty good out of that backfield. But this week, Kenneth Walker said, hold my brew. I'm about to remind y'all why I'm the number one running back in this offense. And he took flight. K9 goes for 105 and a touchdown, and he didn't even outstep Zach Charbonnet. I love it when players have a chip on their shoulder, especially if it's the size of a golden nugget, the Baker Mayfields. They run like they got a chip on their shoulder. They move the demeanor, the swagger. It's like, it's like y'all can't mess with me, right? I love when players got a chip on their shoulder. And right now it seems like Kenneth Walker has a chip on his shoulder the size of a golden nugget. And Zach Charbonnet is running hard. He is trying to take that job. I'm not going to hold you. So if you want to hold tight on to that job, K9, I suggest you do what you can with the limited carries that you've been getting. It looks like the splits be like 15 to 13, 12 to 10, right? But with about 10 carries last week, like I say, K9 goes for a $105 and a TD. We love to see it, especially because I got him in fantasy. I drafted K9 in the 4th round for a reason, and I didn't draft him to split carries with Zach Charbonnet, but here we are. So shout out to Kenneth Walker, man. You performed this week. Let's try to stay consistent, bro. I need you, bro. Pause. But I need you, brother. Trevor is so inconsistent. It's mind-blowing at this point of his career. Yeah, Trevor, if you're talking about Trevor Lawrence, yeah. I'm not a big fan of Trevor Lawrence. He is Gabricio. Trevor Lawrence is garbage. Point blank, period. I don't know why a lot of quarterbacks get more chances than certain guys. Like Danny Dimes, they was ready to quit on him, never gave him a legitimate fair shake, never gave him a true dominant number one. The best weapon he's had was probably a first-year Malik Neighbors, right? And they ship him out of town, probably regretfully choosing him over Saquon Barkley, and that probably played a factor in why they shipped him out, because Saquon ended up rushing for 2 racks and Daniel Jones didn't really do much. But look at Daniel Jones now, right? Look at him now. So it's almost like, his hype was crazy. Like the Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, all of that hype was crazy coming out of college. But yeah, I don't think Trevor Lawrence is worth a damn. I think he's ass. And I think this year Jacksonville needs to be in the market for a quarterback, if not in free agency, definitely through the draft. They need to be trying to figure out what they're going to do with this guy. Or I really don't have the answers for Jacksonville. I don't. It's almost like situations matter in the NFL, right? Almost like, right? You would think that, right? But to be honest with you, something that caught my eye is, and I know I laid in on the Bears last week a lot, but I can't help it because the Bears is garbage. This is one of these organizations that I was talking about to start the show. Guys that just can't seem to put it together organizationally, or it's either organizationally or they're cursed. And honestly, I do believe in curses. I do. In football, I think the Clippers are cursed. It seems like with certain franchises, it does not matter what you do at this point. It's not going to work. It just doesn't work. The Lions walked in and beat the dog shit out of the Chicago Bears. Beat the dog shit out of Chicago Bears. Hung 40, 50 points on their head top. Everybody had it going. And I'm a guy that's a firm believer that the Lions will have a regression as far as record and production goes this year. Shit, if they do. The Bears made them look like, I don't even know. They made them look like the 2013 Broncos out there. They couldn't be stopped. Did they punt the football once? Sports curses are very real. I definitely believe that. Did the Lions punt the football? Jared Goff had his way. Jahmyr Gibbs, I think both him and Monty scored. Amon-Ra St. Brown had a day. Jamison Williams caught a touchdown. Ryan Poles and that organization have not hit on a serviceable draft pick and a very, very, maybe in his existence outside of, we questioning Caleb Williams. We're questioning Caleb Williams. Go look at what the Bears have done draft-wise. picking up elite level talent. The best thing they did was grabbing Joe Tooney. Like, the Bears drafting has been horrendous, and you can't develop talent if you're not drafting talent. And I think it starts in the front office. How can you expect the organization to get better if they're not drafting the way that they need to draft? Ryan Poles, you're garbage. They should fire you effective immediately. It's been a bunch of healthy scratches and busts this guy's been drafting. So that's an issue that needs to be solved. You wonder why talent isn't developing is because they're not drafting talent to develop. And it's irritating to look at. You see that right there. The Bears are my second team. I watch the Bears. You know, I live in Chicago. You know, all my family are Bears fans. So it's like, it's frustrating to a bit to see this go down year in and year out, consistently, constantly. It's just they can't figure it out. And it starts up top. It starts with the front office. Like, to be honest with you, this shit looks so incompetent. I might have a better chance at running the Chicago Bears. Damn it, put me in charge. Real talk. Hey, I play Madden. I told y'all this earlier. I play Madden. And on Madden, I play franchise mode. Put me in that front office. I guarantee you, I turn that franchise. Give me 5 years. Give me 5 years with the Chicago Bears. Look, give me 5 years with the Bears, and I turn that franchise around my damn self. I'm telling you. Because what's going on, the inability to spot talent, right? I don't know what's going on with y'all. Scouts, a lot of y'all be wrong about quarterbacks, running backs, tackles. A lot of y'all don't know what y'all looking at when it come to the defensive side of the ball. Y'all just be making draft picks. They come into the league. They end up on the practice squad and end up being cut. And it's like some of these guys you draft, you can't identify the talent while they in the building. You cut them. They go somewhere else and they thrive. Give me 5 years with the Chicago Bears, and I guarantee I'll turn them boys into winners. Real talk. I play Madden. I can get it cracking. The choices they make are sickening. You got that right, for sure. How about the rookie, y'all? Right? How about the rookie Cam Ward? I'm really, really enjoying watching Cam Ward play his rookie season out. Like, it's not even about the stats at this point. I don't give a damn about the numbers that he puts up. I'm watching this kid to see his maturation. Week in and week out, does he learn from the mistakes he makes in the previous week? Last week, week one, he made a ton of rookie mistakes, right? Getting sacked out of field goal range, throwing dumb passes, errant passes. This week, I saw more mature, not a huge leap or something to be like, oh, my God, it was amazing. But I see things in him that he can build off of, right? But he did, at the end of the half, have a no, yes type of play. This guy rolled out to the right before halftime, rolled out to the right, threw it across his body and across the entire field for a touchdown. I said, okay, that's why they took this guy with the number 1 pick. But that's a no, Cam Ward. Don't do that one again, buddy, please. Because if that didn't, it was a dot. I'm not going to hold you. It was a dot. But had somebody been on their P's and Q's on the defensive side of the ball, that could have been ugly, and it could have got picked. And if it got picked due to the fact that the entire football field was on the right side of the field and you threw it to the left side of the field, whoever picked that was going for 6. I'm not wishing no ill will on the Tennessee Titans, right? But that play could have went for 6, Cam. Don't do that, right? Don't do that. But I also like the fact that he's got solid talent around him. I really like Tony Pollard coming out of that backfield. He's a workhorse running back for them. He doesn't really fumble the football. He takes care of the football. He could provide a good balance of speed, quickness, elusiveness for them coming out of that backfield. They got a veteran in Calvin Ridley that I really like for a rookie quarterback. 2 things I love for rookie quarterbacks, and that's a serviceable tight end and a veteran wide receiver presence, right? And Calvin Ridley is that guy. He's sure-handed. And he can also learn a lot from Calvin Ridley, even though they play two different positions. Learning from a guy like Calvin Ridley, who's been around the league, who's spent time with Hall of Fame quarterbacks like Matt Ryan, you can really learn a thing or two, not only about the position and about the game itself, but about how to conduct yourself in locker rooms, outside of locker rooms, with the media. You need veteran presence around your rookie quarterback. And a lot of these rookies be placed in terrible situations where they ain't got nobody to pass the ball to, nobody to run the ball, terrible offensive line. But I'm not mad at the situation that Cam Ward is in. I just think Nick Coles, the offensive coordinator, could do a better job of calling plays and putting this kid in a better position to win. I think they're leaning on him a little bit too much. And I know first pick, you want to show off what you could do. Run the football, man. They ran it 20 times last week, but, Tony Pollard had like 20 carries, ran it like 25, 30 times last week. Run the football, man. Run the football. Let's see what you got in your running game, and allow that to set up the pass, in my opinion. But I love Cam Ward. I love watching Cam Ward. He's great. He was my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year, and I don't know. We'll see. That might be Emeka Ibuka, man. I'm not going to hold you. It might be Emeka Ibuka. Rams having Puka and Adams is actually a cheat code. It is, man. Adams, at his age, he still got it. Tay Adams still got it, man. Shout out to Tay Adams. Puka Nacua, they just use Puka Nacua every way a football player can be used. I've seen this guy run in arounds. This guy is running the ball out of the backfield. He's catching the ball. He's running an XYZ. Every position on the offense, Puka Nacua can do it. He's damn near put him at quarterback. Might as well put him at quarterback. How about that Packers defense? Stout, man. That Packers defense the first 2 weeks of the season have played serviceable level talent too. They not just playing scrubs. They play serviceable level talent, and they've been productive. Adding Micah Parsons it's like it lit a fire under their ass. Shout out to the Green Bay Packers, man. They have been balling, and they're a serious threat in the NFC. My man Mike Beasley hit my line. He say, hey, yo, how about them Packers, man? Are you nervous? I'm like, what I got to be nervous for? I'm not worried about the Packers. When in actuality, I really probably should be worried about the Packers. That defense is stout. That defense is definitely stout. Mike is on a mission, no doubt, for sure. Is it still Eagles in one? It's always going to be Eagles in one. You know that. Come on now. Eagles in one. Always going to be Eagles in one. Always. But the Packers, let's see, in the NFC, who am I truly worried about? Right? The Packers, the Seattle Seahawks defense. The Seattle Seahawks defense looks really, really, really good. In the NFC, Jackson Smith and Jigma had a solid day. I like the Seattle Seahawks, man. I do. I like Seattle this year. Bucks, Packers, Eagles, Rams, Lions. I'm not a big fan of the Lions this year. Bucks, Packers, Eagles, Rams, Seahawks. I like that. I like that. To me, those are the teams to beat in the NFC so far through 2 weeks. I like that. Sammy needs to play better if the Eagles want to make noise. Sammy who? Sammy needs to play better if the Seahawks want to make noise. Sammy. Who is Sammy? Who the hell is Sammy? Oh, Sam Darnold. Okay. Yeah, I never heard nobody call him Sammy, but yeah, Sam Darnold definitely, yeah. Like, I knew somebody would bite on the Sam Darnold sweepstakes. I think he's been, he's been middle of the pack. Shit, if Sam Darnold play any better than he's playing now, we might be talking about Super Bowl contenders. With the two running backs they got in the backfield, Jackson Smith and Jigma doing what he's doing, and that defense, man, the Seattle Seahawks, I'm rocking with it. I'm rocking with the Seattle Seahawks this year. That's my dark horse team, for real. We're going to end the show with OG's top performers. Y'all already know I like to get loud for this segment so I can chop it up and put it on socials as whether it be a short or a TikTok, Instagram reel, whatever. But this is my favorite segment. I love doing OG's top performers where we highlight my top performers of the week, as y'all all know. So let me get a sip of my water. We're going to get into this. All righty. Let's do this. Week 2 is in the books, so you know what time it is. OG's top performers, and you know the rules. If you want to get in, you better win. Now let's get it popping, right? Let's do this. Number 5, I got the kicker. I've never done this in the history of this segment. We got Brandon Aubrey. What do you do? A 51-yarder, a 44-yarder, a 64-yarder to send the game to overtime, get to overtime, and kick a 46-yarder to win the game. The Cowboys got a weapon of mass destruction. Number 4, we got James Let Him Cook, 21 carry, 132 yard, 2 touchdown. This dude is efficient. Slow him down. It don't matter how many running back, Ty Johnson, Ray Davis, who's getting carries, this dude always seems to suffice. Number 3, it don't matter if it's Jake Browning, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase is going to be the best wide receiver in football. 14 catches, $165, and a touchdown. There is no slowing this guy down. He's still going to be consistent, even with the backup. You could believe that like you believe in Jesus. Number 2, I got Jared Goff. This dude only incompleted 5 passes on the night, 23 for 28, 334 yards, 5 touchdowns for Jared Goff? What are we doing? This dude was on fire. The entire offense was cooking with hot grease. And number 1, his counterpart, Amon-Ra St. Brown, 9 catches, $115, 3 TDs. He's your top performer. The Bears didn't have an answer for this Lions offense on Sunday. Not one answer. Incredible performance by the Detroit Lions. I had to put 2 of them guys in my top 5. Crazy. But I've been on here talking y'all ears off for the past 45 minutes, so I'm going to let you guys go. As y'all already know, my name is OG the Beast, and I appreciate everybody that joined in today, man. Look, I will be here every Tuesday, anywhere from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Central Time, right? So if you want to tap in live, you know where I'm going to be at, right here on Twitch. From 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. is when I'm going to start the stream. And if you can't catch it, you could always catch the full episode over on YouTube. And, of course, I'll be chopping things up, using them as shorts, YouTube shorts, reels, TikToks, the whole 9. But as always, peace and love, and I appreciate every single one of you guys for joining. You know what I'm saying? Unleashed, I appreciate you for tuning in every week. I appreciate you. Glad you enjoy the episodes. I will never forget that you sitting in here with me, vibing with me. We go back and forth on this shit. Bam, thank you for attending. It's been a while, man. I lost a lot of y'all. I lost a lot of y'all when I took that year off. But I appreciate every single one of y'all, man. And as always, OG out. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that sub button. Also, drop a like on the content. And while you at it, check out these 2 videos you see on the screen. OG out.